Hi there, this is Nick broadcasting on the Get Me Off Grid video blog, which is of course a fundraising blog so that I can raise enough money so that I myself can get completely and utterly off grid, and I mean like as far as I can. Links below for all of that kind of stuff. Now, today I'm just going to go back into talking about the wood gas stove. I'm sure I've shown you this before. That's right, it's a tin can. That's it, just a tin can. This is probably one of the cheapest off-grid cooking solutions you can lay your hands on. Naturally, for outdoor cooking, not indoor cooking, you don't want to die of carbon monoxide poisoning. But I'm just going to show you how a tin can with holes drilled into it can actually be used to generate flames of the right type so you can use it for cooking. What you do is you put the right form of biomass in the bottom, you set fire to it, maybe a spot of barbecue lighting gel or something similar, and it'll start to burn. As it burns, it'll give off smoke and gases. The gases go up, and as air goes in through the holes around the top here, that'll ignite those gases and therefore create a flame. Okay, so we've got a ring of holes near the base here to allow air to go in. We've got a mesh of holes at the bottom there. We've got another ring of holes on this part of the can, and that's all we got. And from this you got the most basic outdoor cook stove in the whole wide world. Now, as far as sizes are concerned, if you wanted to use sticks and brushwood which you picked up on your walks in the countryside or on your land, you need a bigger base. This is what I worked out during my first wood gas stove experiments. Okay, today I'm just going to demonstrate this. So, there we go. These are wood pellets. Okay, now wood pellets are very dense, energetically speaking. Okay, they have the same kind of like calorific content as coal. And we're just going to take a handful of these things. Just a small handful, put them in the bottom of the can, and we're going to set fire to it, and we're going to see what happens. I'm going to raise it up, maybe on an oven shelf or something similar, so we've got air flowing in underneath. Now I'm going to show you what happens so that you'll know how to actually make a very simple, basic, off-grid, outdoor cooking solution. In this particular case, it's been lit by candle wax and sawdust. I don't know whether you can see it on the camera, but you already start to notice that when that flame licks up around the holes, there's like a jet of hot air which comes in and blows on the flame. That's the extra oxygen coming in, the secondary combustion, making the combustion work at the higher level. So just wait a little while longer and see how it goes. It's looking good so far. Okay, now we're getting a consistent flame. The higher ring of air holes is really doing its job nicely. It's creating a nice stable flame pattern. Alright, it's a lot of heat coming off that tiny quantity of biomass, making sure you could actually cook some food with that. Now this is a wood gas stove in prime operation. Okay, it's taken a few minutes for us to get it going, but on the other hand you can see how it's operating. You see the quantity of heat which is coming up purely from biomass. It's actually quite beautiful. Another off-grid fuel technology. Works better in low wind conditions, obviously, but that's why you need a two-wall gasifier stove, and I'll explain more about those in other videos. There's a lot of energy coming off that. You can add extra fuel to it if you want, but essentially, you don't always want to do that. These are normally batch loaded. So you work out how much fuel you need to use, and then you cook with it. I used a bit of paraffin wax to help get it going, but essentially if you think about it, that's an off-grid technology, so don't worry about it, man. And it'll just leave carbon left over at the end of it, and you can put that on your garden and help your plants grow. Okay, what I think I've demonstrated to you there is that cooking off-grid, outdoor cooking off-grid, is in fact very possible and very viable when you got solid fuels such as wood or wood pellets. Now wood pellets can be bought, they're still an off-grid technology, but you don't have to buy them. But essentially for you to be able to cook a meal, it will only cost you a few pennies worth of fuel basically. As far as the ignition technology is concerned, you could do that with either firelighters or barbecue lighting gel, or maybe you'd want to use a combination of sawdust and candle wax. I did use 1/4 of a tea light candle to help with the ignition, so essentially that's all that was required. And the quantity of flame that we got there was really rather amazing. So boom, it's perfectly possible if you're doing outdoor cooking to use the most basic technology, the bare bones for which you've probably got laying around the house already, namely old or used food tins. As I say, you need a larger, wider base if you're going to use wood you've picked up from somewhere. If you're using wood pellets, small food tins will do quite well. It depends upon what kind of size of flame you want to get, how long you want it to burn for. You don't want to put too much in the bottom because you want to maintain the airflow through the system, unless of course you've got a fan assisted system, and you can make those yourself with handheld fans and all the rest of that. It's very simple, and it is doable for absolutely everybody out there if you want to be able to cook food off-grid outside. And yes, I did that when I first discovered how to use wood gas technology in that particular way. I did a lot of meals outside, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I loved it, and I made my tea breaks that way, and it was great. So cooking outside, no problem if you understand wood gas technology. One thing I will say is that the wood gas effect, namely the extra hot air coming into the secondary combustion holes, does remove a lot of the muck from the smoke, but it doesn't burn it all completely. So a wood gas stove will blacken your pot, so you've got to take precautions. But apart from that, you ain't got nothing to worry about. I've used it for frying, I've used it for boiling, basically, whatever you want. I personally wouldn't want to have direct contact between the air coming up off a wood gas stove and the food itself, so I wouldn't want to grill with it, because you can get charring and all kinds of nasty stuff coming straight off the flames. So it's only for pan cooking, but basically it works. Another fantastic low-cost off-grid technology brought to you by Nick on the Get Me Off-Grid video blog. Don't forget to use the donation links below and help me get completely off-grid. God bless.